When you go to accelerate in your truck, does it sound like wet rubber scuba gear rubbing on itself faster and faster and faster until you can't hear it anymore? Does it chirp over and over again? Does it sound like this? If that's what your truck sounds like, you have one of these, a bad U-joint. But not to worry, these can be fixed at home with basic tools, and you don't need to go to a dealer. Hey, welcome to the workshop. My name's Jamie, and today we are underneath my truck, as you can see, and we're going to be working on that. That noise that you heard earlier is the squeaking from the U-joint. I'm envisioning that the grease in here is totally dried out. So we're going to take a few minutes here and remove it. I've got an 11mm wrench and a pry bar. And let's see what it takes to get this off. All right, with those loosened up, I'm just going to mark everything here so that we put it back in the right place. Out the other end, I have a bucket in case there's any transmission fluid that comes out. And so now I'm just going to pop the U-joint loose of the pinion. And I'm going to go get some more physics. All right, I've got about a 2-foot crowbar at this point, and let's see if this will convince that U-joint to pop out of there. Yes, almost crushed my phone. That would be injury number 2 for the phone, but we just missed it, so that's good. Here is that cap. This cap actually, that looks okay as far as still got some grease in it. Oh, but that U-joint is tight. It's all bound up. And this one also has grease. All right. Well, when we pop out this joint, we'll see how it goes. And then the rest of this process is a slip out of the transmission. Go. And the drive shaft is out. There are a lot of U-joint videos on YouTube, and what I'm going to be doing here is not much different than what's already been shown a few times. So I'll run quickly through that. We'll speed up the video for that part. What I would like to just show you, just a brief little tip, is I have the drive shaft here in my vise, and I've rotated the vise so that I can put the tail of the drive shaft up on the bench, and I've got it elevated up on a piece of wood. And you'll find that that just makes handling this thing by yourself so much easier. So that's my tip. Again, the rest of this will be pretty standard fare. First things first, need to get that clip out. I like to use some of that Gibbs lubricant. It's amazing how well it works. But you gotta get those clips out of there. Pliers, in that case I was using a chisel. Now there's a ridge on the inside that clip clips into. You're going to want to make sure that that is clean. On this side, the clip was missing, so I just spent some time cleaning it out. You want to make sure that that clip is totally gone and that you've cleaned that ridge out kind of best you can. So now I'm supporting the U-joint on those two sides, and with a dead blow hammer starting to whack down on the drive shaft. And what that will do is push the U-joint cap up, rotate it around, try the same thing, and you can see I get to about this point where it starts to give me some trouble. It's being a little bit stubborn right now, so I try to go for a solid hammer with some wood, but I end up just destroying the wood. This drive shaft is aluminum and the housing is aluminum, so I want to be really careful that I don't whack on this thing too hard. So I end up getting up on a stool, give me a little bit more leverage, and I was able to make some more progress with it. Here I have a socket that's just larger than the cap. That works really well to push down on that area around the cap. Still didn't quite get me there the whole way. Vice grips, couldn't get them moving. That cap is hard. It's really hard for the vice grips to bite into it. So what I'm going to try next here is to drop some washers in between the U-joint and that cap to take up some of that space, and then I can go back to kind of pounding on the housing. Because right now, but the U-joint is bound up on the top of the housing. It's hitting there, and it just won't push through anymore. So we'll grab a couple of washers and find a way to drop those down inside there. So there's one washer. There's two washers in there now. And again, just to take up a little bit of that space, and then I can go back to using that socket, and boom, pops it right out. There are the washers down on the inside. Pretty neat little trick. Worked out pretty well in here. That's you can see the really bad damaged U-joint. So now I need to hammer out the other cap. So I've got a punch, got that broken piece of wood trying to protect things. It's not coming out. Pretty stubborn right now. I don't know if this is a miracle or what, but I used some of that Gibbs lubricant right here. Boom, boom, couple of sprays, and then out it came. Coincidence or just amazing stuff? I'm not sure. The next part, critical, is getting this clean. So just getting rid of the gunk. I'm in there with a pick, cleaning out the ridge where that snap ring will go back in. And this is aluminum again, so there's some oxidation. It's not rust, but so I've got the Dremel with a wire wheel on here. Really making sure that that groove that the snap ring sets into is nice and clean. And then also the surface that the cap will slide into, the new cap, that cylindrical surface, want to make sure that that's clean as well. You can see a lot of this kind of aluminum dust kind of getting brought up by cleaning that stuff out. And that'll make installation so much better. So here, this is just a quick check, lining up the new one with the old one, making sure that the caps are the right size and that the total width of the U-joint is the right size. So everything here looks good for this back one. All right, you'll hear people say installation is the reversal of removal. I don't agree with that. This is a greasable. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't think it was going to be greasable. Okay, I guess it's greasable. There's pros and cons depending on who you talk to. Non-greasable means it's solid inside, so it'd be a little stronger. We're going to go with this. And so since these two caps are going to go on that pinion shaft outside, I'm just going to tape them up so that they don't come off. Because there's nothing worse than chasing needle bearings around your shop. So I'm just going to use some electrical tape to hold these on. Now, what we want to do with the caps is we want to get them started here on both sides. And again, the key is don't lose those needle bearings. and also don't let any get stuck flop sideways in the bottom. So this is probably the most delicate part of this. Removal required a lot of hammers and hard work. This, you need to be a little bit more careful and pay attention to what you're doing. So I'm going to set the bottom one in and up. So I've got a pretty good sense that it's going in straight. All right, and so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to put back down into that cap. Make sure I'm not disrupting any of the needle bearings. All right, and then I'm going to come up and I want to squeeze that cap in a little bit more so that it doesn't slide out the bottom. So while I have my new U-joint in there, again, keeping those needle bearings in place, I'm just going to give this, my vise came out too far. Good timing. There we go. Okay. So I just want to get this cap in a little bit more. There it goes. Okay. The key is getting it to go in square. And like anything, you kind of know it when you feel it. At the outer edges of my vise here, and it is causing me trouble because I wanted to keep the flat plastic because I don't want to gouge up anything. There we go. Okay, you can tell it goes in nice and easy, so that's good. That's a good start. Okay, now for the top side, what we're going to do is take the top cap. I'm going to slide up the yoke, still try to keep it connected with the lower cap's bearings. But bring it up high enough so that I can connect to this one. Oh, that's not going to work out so well. I think I'm going to have to bring in the lower one deeper in. I can't have both things together at the same time. So we're going to bring this guy in a little tighter. You can see it's going in nicely. It's always good. Okay, so now I'm up near the top of this hole with my yoke. It's just barely below the surface here, so I can bring it up. Always check that you don't have needle bearings in there laying sideways. If you've done this more than once, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anytime I get a weird feel like that, I'm gonna come out and take a look. All right, now by holding this one in the middle, we're gonna come back and do the same thing on this side. That's going in nicely. Keep a little bit of rotation on the yoke, just makes me feel better that it's going in nice and straight. Okay, so I've clamped in both the caps. Now we need to go in a little further on each one so that we can get the snap rings in. You can use a socket. I have this old bearing race that will work pretty well. And there it goes. Need some more. Needs a little more. All right, so we're gonna take that. Okay, so I think we're snug in on each side with enough room to get the snap rings on. We will adjust these after both the snap rings are on, because you want to keep that loose. Right now she's a little tight. So we're gonna get the snap rings in, and then we'll work on it some more, loosen it up. Really important that these guys go in and snap all the way around that groove. All right, that's in nicely. All of that cleaning in advance really helped out. So I can take a new one and I can look at kind of how thick it is versus how much is showing around the ring, and I can see that it's indeed in there. Oh, you know what? There's actually a special clip. Because this is greasable, I need to be using that instead for this one cap. So this guy comes out, and the reason for that is for that grease fitting right there. So this is the clip that you use for the grease fitting cap. Okay, there we go. That is in. All right, that looks great. This guy didn't quite get squeezed in as far as the other one, so it's not snapping in the way I want it to. So we're going to tighten it up a little bit. All right, so that feels better. Yeah, that's good. Everything's a little bit of tap. Just make sure you're nice. This one's in really good. Okay. All right. And actually, the U-joint is now working very nicely. We've got a great fit. I don't need to mess with that. That is working really well. All right, let's go get this on the car. Say what you want about having a creeper. Give me a piece of cardboard any day. They're low. You can slide right on them. All right, let's do this, Jamie, without whacking the camera. Am I going to clear the camera? Yes. On there. There we go. Front is in. Don't even get me started on the rust on these Silverados. That's another project. Look at this. This is a 2014 in great shape. And I don't want to poke my finger through there because I can. But that is super frustrating. I don't know why they can't figure that stuff out. If I only knew somebody that worked at GM. You know who you are. All right. And now let's get us back. Okay, I did clean up these end caps on the wire wheel. Get those in good shape. And I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit these with a wire brush. Stand by. I should have brought something to cut this with. Take off our electrical tape. Careful not to drop the caps. Any advice I give you means it's because I've done it. Oh, all right, and then use those yellow marks that you made to line up the drive shaft. Push into the transmission, pull out from the transmission. Make sure that you're in there nice and square. Check the other side. Okay, that's in. Perfect. All right. All right, that's it. We'll get her down off the jack stands, take her for a test drive. I hope this was helpful for you. It was quick. It's pretty hot out today, so we did it early in the morning, so that worked out well. Thanks for watching my video. I appreciate it. If you want to see other stuff like this video. If you liked it, and subscribe to my channel would be great. Always looking for new subscribers, and comments, of course. Those are probably the best part of doing this, is I'm showing you one way to do it, and you can show me and tell me another way to do it. I would appreciate that. Oh, sorry, last thing I'm going to do is we're going to throw some grease in here. Just a little bit, right into that fitting. Just enough to kind of make sure that's all filled up nice. So, okay, till next time, thanks. See ya, and have a great day. You know I wouldn't leave you without a test drive. Got to let you know that it worked, or that it didn't work. Because what's not so clear in that video is I only showed you the rear U-joint, because the front U-joint, I got sent the wrong one, or I ordered the wrong one. I ordered the right one, but the wrong one came. But luckily the front U-joint was okay. Well, let's give this thing a test drive and see if we still hear that squeak. Now, I don't have the microphone underneath the truck like I did at the beginning of the video, but you'll be able to see from the joy on my face if we fixed it. Yeah, it's nice and quiet now. So before, here on acceleration, when it was under load, you could hear that squeaking, and it sounded like rubber kind of squeaking on rubber, like a scuba suit, getting faster and faster and faster. Here we go. Yeah, we're in good shape. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Send me some comments, and till next time, see ya.